There's a thin line between trust and blind faith, between love and indulgence. Ethan paid a heavy price to realize that sometimes turning a blind eye, excusing the unusual changes in the one you love, is the slow-burning fire that incinerates family happiness. This isn't just a story of a broken marriage, but an indictment of missed choices, lost moments, and the steep cost of my own indifference. They say life is like a symphony with its highs and lows, but my symphony broke mid-tune by a discordant note not of fate, but of my own indulgence. Hey everyone, today I want to share a story with you that might not be unique, but it changed my life forever, forcing me to reevaluate everything I once believed. Before I start, I hope you're all safe and having a good day. Life by its very nature is full of surprises, and sometimes the closest people bring the most unexpected pains, the indelible scars. Join me as I tell my story, a tale of change, indulgence, and the bitter end of a seemingly happy family. Olivia and I were childhood sweethearts, growing up together in a small suburban town outside Philadelphia, where cozy wooden houses nestled under ancient oak trees and cobblestone streets led to the shimmering river at sunset. We met in kindergarten, innocent children playing together in the sunny schoolyard. I vividly remember Olivia then, a little girl with neatly braided hair, big dark eyes, and a radiant smile that always brought me peace. Our childhood was an endless string of hide-and-seek games in the woods behind our house, afternoon bike rides on tree-lined village roads, and summer evenings stretched out on the grass gazing at the starry sky and dreaming of a distant future. We shared all our secrets, fears, and dreams. Olivia dreamed of becoming a brilliant marketing executive, traveling everywhere and exploring the world. As for me, from a young age, I was fascinated by architecture, with my clumsy house sketches on paper, dreaming of building great structures, solid homes for people. Our families were just as close. My father was a dedicated construction engineer, always teaching me about meticulousness and responsibility. My mother was a gentle elementary school teacher who nurtured in me love and patience. Olivia's parents were also kind people, always busy with their small family business, but never forgetting to make time for their children. We often had dinners together, weekend picnics, creating a childhood full of laughter and beautiful memories. As we grew a little older, Olivia remained dynamic and ambitious. She was always an excellent student, participating in many extracurricular activities. I was quieter, spending more time with books and design sketches. Despite our somewhat different personalities, we remained each other's closest friends, and gradually our feelings for each other crossed the boundary of friendship. I remember vividly the night of our high school graduation under the soft lights of the prom. Olivia wore a pristine white dress, looking like an angel. I held her hand, feeling the warmth of her soft palm. "I'm going to study architecture at the University of Pennsylvania, and you're going to study marketing, right?" I asked, my voice full of excitement. Olivia smiled brightly, her eyes sparkling. "That's right. We'll go to Philadelphia together, build our dreams together." We shared our first kiss, a kiss of promises and trust. A kiss I thought would be a vow for eternal love. 4 years of college in Philadelphia was a real challenge. The big, noisy, vibrant city was completely different from our peaceful town. We both had to work very hard to adapt to the new environment and demanding class schedules. I dove into complex design blueprints, dry calculation formulas, and hours of practical work on construction sites. Olivia was busy with group projects, presentations, and extracurricular activities to hone her marketing skills. Despite our busy schedules, we still managed to make time for each other. We often went on dates on weekends, exploring charming little cafes or quiet parks in the city. After graduation, we decided to return to our beloved suburban town. I wanted to be close to my family and build my career where I was born, while Olivia wanted to find a stable job so she could start a family life. I found a position as an architect at a local construction company, and Olivia quickly got a job in the marketing department of a fairly large tech company headquartered in Philadelphia, but with a big branch in our suburban area. We got married in a cozy ceremony at the town's old church, witnessed by family and close friends. My parents were overjoyed. They always considered Olivia their own daughter and wholeheartedly supported our relationship. Olivia's parents were the same. They came from Ohio for the wedding, saying that Ethan was a good young man, and they trusted me to take good care of their daughter. Looking at Olivia in her pristine white wedding dress, I thought this was my destiny. This was the woman I would spend my entire life with. Our married life was truly fulfilling. 2 years after our wedding, our happiness became even more complete when Olivia gave birth to an adorable daughter whom we named Sophia. 2 years later, Liam, another charming boy, was born. Sophia and Liam were everything we wished for. 2 little angels who brought laughter and joy to our home. I loved the moments I spent with our children, hearing their first words, exploring the world around them together. Olivia was a wonderful mother. She showered our children with love and attention. She always smiled brightly whenever Sophia babbled mama, and I could see boundless love in her eyes. We were a happy little family filled with laughter and warmth. I thought my life had nothing left to regret. I still vividly remember the feeling of pride and happiness when Olivia received news of her promotion. I believed it was a wonderful step for her career, a well-deserved reward for all her efforts. I had no idea that it would open a new chapter. A chapter none of us wanted to read, a chapter full of discordant notes that would derail our family's once harmonious symphony. Everything began to change when Olivia was promoted to a senior management position in the marketing department. This was a big opportunity, a crucial turning point in her career. I was very proud of my wife, and we held a small party to celebrate this success. Along with her new position, Olivia started making new friends, new colleagues she had to work with on important projects. At first, I didn't suspect anything. I was even happy to see her expand her social circle. She told me about her new colleagues, their lunches together, the exciting projects they were working on. She frequently mentioned a woman named Chloe, another senior project manager newly transferred from California and known for her extravagant, free-spirited lifestyle. Olivia said that Chloe was a very successful, beautiful woman with a very trendy sense of style. She admired Chloe very much, but then Olivia's outings and after-work gatherings became more and more frequent. She started coming home later, sometimes after dinner, even some nights when the children were already asleep. When I asked, she just said work was busy. She had to attend social events with clients or had meetings with colleagues to discuss projects. I trusted her sincerity and responsibility as a wife and mother. I didn't want to be an unreasonably jealous husband. My parents also advised me to be understanding towards Olivia, as her new job would surely be busier. Gradually, I noticed a clear change in Olivia's wardrobe and makeup. She began to pay more attention to her appearance, buying more branded clothes from expensive labels that she rarely cared about before. Her closet was filled with glamorous evening gowns, designer handbags, and expensive high heels. She even changed her hairstyle, dyed it a more striking color, and started using strong perfumes I had never smelled. I thought perhaps she wanted to refresh herself, or that her new work environment required her to be more polished and stylish to fit in with the upper echelons she was now interacting with. I still tried to find reasonable explanations to justify my wife's changes, even though I already felt a vague discomfort, a discordant note slowly emerging in the symphony of my life. The change wasn't just superficial. Olivia's personality also began to shift significantly. She became more irritable, easily losing her temper over trivial matters at home, especially with the children. Sophia forgetting school supplies, Liam spilling water, minor things Olivia used to overlook or gently remind them about, but now she would flare up. Our conversations also became more sparse and superficial. She rarely shared about her work or feelings and often glued her eyes to her phone, headphones in her ears. When I tried to share my worries or difficulties at work, she often showed impatience, interrupted me, or avoided the topic. She even hinted that I was an incompetent husband, not romantic enough, not interesting enough to keep her, that my life was too boring and old-fashioned. I felt an invisible distance growing steadily between us, an invisible wall made of alienation and complaints. I once tried to talk to Olivia, hoping she would realize and come back, but my words seemed meaningless, only pushing her further away. I didn't know what to do, whether I was wrong or if she had truly changed too much. Helplessness gnawed at my soul, and the voice of Chloe, her new friend, echoed in my head like a premonition. My close friends like Daniel, my longtime colleague, also began to notice these changes. Daniel was a calm man with a happy family who cared deeply about his friends. He asked me a couple of times, "Hey, Ethan, Olivia seems different lately, doesn't she? She's dressing so stylishly and seems to be out late a lot. Is something wrong?" I usually forced a smile, saying, "No, it's nothing. She's just busy with her new job and needs to expand her network." But deep down, I knew Daniel saw what I was trying to deny. My parents also started to worry. My mother once told me, "Son, you should talk to Olivia. I feel like she's been a little strange lately. She doesn't seem to care about the children as much as before." I reassured Mom that everything was fine, but her words kept echoing in my head. Chloe, Olivia's new friend, was now not just a friend, but seemed to have become Olivia's mentor in every aspect of life. Chloe was a single, successful, beautiful woman who lived a very free life, not afraid to spend on lavish parties and luxurious trips. She frequently traveled abroad, attended all-night parties at luxurious nightclubs in Philadelphia, and always encouraged Olivia to live life her way, not to be too bound by family or old-fashioned values. She often invited Olivia to go shopping, to spas, and to parties where I wasn't invited. I had the chance to meet Chloe a few times at company parties. She was a charming and confident woman, but in her eyes I always felt something insincere, a coldness and calculation hidden deep within. She always looked at me with a scrutinizing gaze, as if evaluating and comparing as if I were something outdated. Perhaps that was just my subjective feeling, or perhaps I had begun to feel insecure about the influence Chloe might have on Olivia. Olivia's changes not only affected our marital relationship, but also had a serious impact on the children. She became less interested in Sophia and Liam's schooling and daily routines. Evening story times, weekend outings also became less frequent. She often left the children's care to me or to our housekeeper. The children began to feel sad and disappointed. Sophia, my eldest daughter, once asked me, "Daddy, why does Mommy go out at night so much lately? She doesn't have time to play with me anymore. Does she still love me?" Liam often cried in my arms whenever Olivia was away from home. "I miss Mommy. I want Mommy to come home and play with me." Their innocent questions and tears cut into my heart like knives, hurting me to the core. I tried to talk to Olivia about the changes I noticed about my worries and the children's sadness. I suggested she spend less time on work and friends and more time with the family. I said I was willing to help her with housework, share the burden of childcare. I told her I loved her and wanted to preserve this family. But each time she denied it or became irritated. She said I was too suspicious, that I wanted to curb her freedom. She also said that I didn't understand the pressures she was facing at work and in society, that I was a husband who didn't know how to support his wife. She even hinted that I was an incompetent husband, not romantic enough, not interesting enough. I tried to be patient, tried to trust and empathize with her. I thought perhaps this was just a difficult phase and everything would return to normal after a while. I indulged Olivia's changes, hoping that my love and patience would help her realize what was most important. I didn't want to break the false peace we had, but I was wrong. My indulgence became a path leading our family to the abyss. I deceived myself, built a wall of false trust only for it to collapse, making everything infinitely more painful. I still vividly remember that fateful night. It felt like something shattered inside me, an alarm bell ringing violently, no longer just discordant notes, but a chaotic harmony of harsh truth. I could no longer deceive myself. That night my life took a completely different turn. The cracks in our relationship became clearer, deeper, and harder to heal. Olivia started having her own secrets. She often held her phone, texting or scrolling through social media until late at night. When I approached, she quickly turned off the screen or switched to another app. Unexpected phone calls, messages arriving in the middle of the night, and her clumsy lies began to multiply. I remember once I accidentally saw a text message on Olivia's phone from an unknown number. The content being, "I miss you, last night was wonderful." She snatched the phone from my hand, startled, and became angry for no reason, her face pale. "What are you doing? Are you spying on me? Don't you trust me? Do you know that's an invasion of privacy?" I tried to stay calm and asked her about the message. She said it was just a mistaken text ad or a message from an old friend. I tried to believe her, but her lies became increasingly blatant and unconvincing. The suspicion in me grew like a poisonous tree, taking root in my heart. I also noticed Olivia was frequently absent on weekends, saying she had to attend distant work seminars or participate in charity events with Chloe's group of friends in other cities. She even turned off her phone or didn't answer my messages for hours. When I asked, she just said her phone ran out of battery or she couldn't answer because she was in an important meeting. I knew something was wrong, but I still tried to cling to a fragile hope, telling myself I shouldn't be too suspicious. And then that dreadful night arrived. I never thought I would witness such a scene or hear those words from my own wife. It was the moment everything collapsed, and I realized that the truth is sometimes more cruel than any nightmare. One night as I was rocking Liam to sleep in his room, I heard Olivia talking on the phone in the living room. Her voice was soft, sweet, and affectionate, completely different from the way she spoke to me daily. She giggled, then whispered words of love. I heard her call a name, Ryan. She said she missed Ryan, that she wanted to be with him, and, "You'll divorce your wife soon, right?" My heart felt like it stopped. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My whole body went numb. I no longer had the strength to stand. I gently put Liam down in his bed, then tiptoed towards the living room. The scene before my eyes froze everything within me, dragging me down to hell. Olivia was sitting on the sofa, phone still pressed to her ear, and she was smiling happily and radiantly, a smile I hadn't seen on her face in a very long time when she was with me. That smile, those eyes were only for another man. When she saw me, the smile on her lips faded, her eyes widened, full of fear, shock, and guilt. She quickly hung up her face, pale hands trembling. "Who is that, Olivia?" I asked, my voice dry, cold, unfamiliar. "I heard everything. Who is Ryan? What are you doing behind my back? Tell me," Olivia stammered. She didn't dare to look into my eyes. I'm sorry, Ethan," she stammered, her voice trembling so much I could barely hear her. It's not what you think. I was just talking to a colleague." "A colleague?" I laughed bitterly. a twisted smile on my lips. A colleague you call my love, someone you miss. A colleague you're dating behind my back. A colleague you want to divorce your wife to be with? Don't lie anymore, Olivia. I'm so tired of your lies. The argument erupted fiercely. Olivia burst into tears trying to justify her actions. She said she felt lonely, that I no longer cared about her like before, that she needed another man to fill the void in her heart. She blamed me for being too busy with work, too dry and lacking in romance. She said Ryan was the only one who understood her, the only one who brought her back the feelings she had lost. She also said that Ryan was a successful, wealthy and romantic man, completely different from me. In my anger, I asked her about Chloe. Was she the one who influenced you, Olivia? Did she encourage you to live more loosely, pushed you down this path? Did she teach you how to lie and betray your husband and children? Olivia remained silent, not denying it. Her eyes showed a fleeting hint of confusion, but then it quickly disappeared, replaced by coldness and indifference. I understood that the lies and the influence from her new environment had gradually corrupted her, changing her values and making her lose herself. I couldn't believe that the woman I loved so much, the mother of my children, could do that behind my back in the very home we had built together. The pain, disappointment, and feeling of betrayal surged within me fiercely. I felt like I had been stabbed by a fatal knife by the very person I trusted most. I had once thought our love was eternal, that Olivia was a faithful wife, but it was all just an illusion. I tried to hold on, tried to find out if there was any chance to salvage this marriage. I begged her for the sake of our children, for the beautiful memories we shared. I said I was willing to forgive, willing to do anything to reconcile. I offered everything I had, my heart and soul, but she seemed to no longer hear me. Her eyes were blank, as if looking at a stranger. I've made up my decision, Ethan, Olivia said, her voice cold and resolute. I don't love you anymore. I want to be free to live for myself. I want to start a new life with Ryan. I'm sorry, but we should get a divorce. Her words were like a death sentence, tearing apart my last glimmer of hope. I felt my whole world collapse around me. I couldn't believe that the happy family I had painstakingly built for so many years could fall apart so easily just because of one person's changes and betrayal. My symphony of love was shattered, leaving only discordant notes and the echo of betrayal, of loneliness. The days that followed were a living hell. I looked at my children, at the empty house, and wondered, where did I go wrong, or was I too blind? The price of indulgence? I paid it too heavily. News of our separation and impending divorce quickly spread throughout our small town. People whispered, gossiped with pitying glances, hushed tones. A few even said it wasn't surprising, as they had seen Olivia's clear changes for a long time, her absences, her glamorous clothes, and her strange look. Only I was blind enough not to notice those things, or I deliberately ignored those changes. My parents were heartbroken when they found out. My mother cried a lot. She couldn't believe that Olivia, the daughter-in-law she always loved, could do that. My father, though, trying to remain calm, couldn't hide his disappointment and sadness. They tried to persuade me, advising me to forgive Olivia for the sake of the children. Son, think of the children. Don't let them grow up without a mother. But I was too heartbroken, too desperate. How could shattered trust be mended? I couldn't live a life filled with lies. Olivia's parents in Ohio also called me. They were incredibly shocked and apologized to me on behalf of their daughter. Olivia's mother said through tears, "We trusted her too much. We never thought she could do something like this. Ethan, please forgive her for the children's sake." But I could only shake my head. The hurt was too great. I couldn't forgive immediately, couldn't pretend nothing happened. I knew they were also in pain, but my pain was many times greater. I looked back at the past period and realized that I had been too blind and lenient towards Olivia's unusual changes. I tried to find every reason to justify her. I didn't want to believe the clear warning signs. I ignored her late nights, her secret phone calls, her changes in appearance and personality. All those signs indicated that she was slowly drifting away from me and our family. But I chose to turn a blind eye, perhaps because I loved her too much, or perhaps because I was afraid to face the truth, afraid to admit that my marriage was falling apart. My indulgence created an opportunity for Olivia to sink deeper and deeper into that misguided relationship. She took advantage of my trust and love to conceal her deceitful behavior. I blamed myself a lot for my weakness and indecisiveness. I wasn't strong enough to pull her back when she was still wavering. Olivia moved out to live with Ryan soon after. I had to single-handedly raise 2 growing children while also dealing with the pain of betrayal. Sophia and Liam were very sad and didn't understand what was happening. They frequently asked, "Daddy, where did Mommy go? Why doesn't Mommy sleep at home with us anymore? Does Mommy still love me?" I tried to explain to them as gently as possible, saying that Mommy was busy with work far away and would come to visit when she had time, but my heart was also breaking. Seeing my children's tears, I felt like a helpless father. I had to come up with hundreds of reasons so the children wouldn't feel completely abandoned. The divorce process was very quick and painful. Olivia seemed to have no regrets about what she had done. She just wanted to quickly finalize all procedures so she could be free to be with Ryan. She didn't dispute much property, only requesting a large sum of money and visitation rights for the children. I felt incredibly disappointed and lost faith in the woman I had once loved so deeply. Finally, we officially divorced. The court ruled that I would have direct custody of Sophia and Liam, with Olivia having weekend visitation rights. But even that visitation right she rarely exercised regularly. At first she still called the children, occasionally visited, but gradually the calls became sparse and visits disappeared. Some weeks she would just call to check in. Briefly, other weeks there was complete silence. It seemed her new life with Ryan swept her away, making her forget her responsibilities as a mother. Sophia and Liam were very disappointed and hurt by their mother's indifference and neglect for such a long time. They began to feel hurt, betrayed by the very mother they loved. I had to single-handedly shoulder the roles of both father and mother. I tried to compensate the children for their lack of affection and attention. I learned to do things Olivia used to do, from taking the children to and from school, cooking, to helping them with homework, and listening to their teenage confessions. I read books on parenting, attended workshops for single parents. Every evening I spent time talking with my children, asking them about their day, listening to their dreams and fears. My life became much more difficult. I had to balance my busy architect job with caring for my children. Some nights I worked until late after the children were asleep, then woke up early to prepare breakfast for them. But I knew I couldn't collapse. I had to be strong for my children, for their future. That's when I began my healing journey, step by step, even though every step was heavy with pain. Seeing my children gradually overcome their sadness and grow, I gained more motivation to keep trying. Sophia gradually became more independent and understanding, and Liam also grew stronger. They were my biggest source of encouragement. Daniel and my other good friends were always there, encouraging and helping me through the toughest times. They helped me watch the children when I was busy, listened to my confessions, and even invited me to social activities so I wouldn't feel lonely. My parents also visited frequently and helped me care for my grandchildren, bringing warmth and stability to our lives. They helped me take the children to and from school, cooked delicious meals, and told them stories. I am incredibly grateful for their support. As for Olivia and Ryan, I heard their life together wasn't as happy as they imagined. Their relationship faced many storms and arguments. Initially, Olivia and Ryan were very happy. They frequently posted photos of luxurious trips and extravagant parties on social media, as if wanting to prove they had a perfect life. Chloe was also always by their side, participating in every party, every trip, as if an inseparable part of this relationship. They were the elite trio, always appearing together in the most luxurious places. But then conflicts began to emerge. Ryan was a wealthy but controlling and patriarchal man. He didn't want Olivia to continue her old job and demanded she give up her career to focus on homemaking or participating in social activities with him. He also gradually forbade her from meeting friends, including Chloe, because he didn't like Chloe having too much influence over Olivia. Olivia gradually lost the freedom and independence she once craved. She became a doll in a gilded cage controlled by Ryan. The climax was when Ryan's company got caught in a major financial scandal, costing him a huge amount of money and severely damaging his reputation. Ryan became irritable, blaming Olivia for his troubles. Money cannot buy true happiness, and when difficulties strike, a person's true nature is revealed. As for Chloe, the close friend who had greatly influenced Olivia, she also suffered a major shock. Her company, where she held a senior management position, was also involved in another financial scandal related to suspicious transactions and money laundering. Chloe was one of those under serious investigation. She lost her job, her bank accounts were frozen, her reputation was severely damaged, and she faced many financial and legal difficulties. I heard that after that scandal, Chloe completely disappeared from the elite circles. She no longer appeared at parties, and no one could contact her anymore. Perhaps everything she built was based on superficiality and exploitative relationships. As for Olivia, her life with Ryan became suffocating and stifling. Ryan was not the gentle and caring man she thought he was. He was often jealous, controlling, and frequently criticized Olivia, even using vulgar language. He no longer respected her. Finally, Olivia and Ryan broke up after less than 2 years together. She lost everything: her career, her money, her friends, and even her family. I heard Olivia returned to our town. She lives alone in a small apartment and is trying to find work in marketing again. She has changed a lot, no longer having the glamorous, confident appearance of before. Instead, there's a haggard look, her eyes showing fatigue and regret. I no longer contact her directly, but I still occasionally hear news through mutual friends. She tried to see the children more often, but Sophia and Liam are older now. they have a clearer view of what happened and they were too hurt by her indifference and neglect for such a long time. The children still agree to meet their mother, but only for brief encounters without the intimacy or joy of before. Looking back at my story, I realize that indulgence is not always an expression of love and forgiveness. Sometimes it's weakness and irresponsibility, leading to unpredictable consequences. I learned a costly lesson about trust, fidelity, and the importance of confronting problems head-on without avoidance. I learned that happiness isn't something that can be found externally, but it must be built from within, from sincerity and core values. My family was shattered and my children endured so much pain. That was an incredibly high price for one person's change and another's indulgence. I hope that my story will serve as a wake-up call for anyone who might be on the verge of a similar situation. Cherish what you have, confront problems in your relationships directly, and never indulge in wrongful behavior, even if it comes from the person you love most. Because in the end, that very indulgence will burn everything down. Life goes on even with wounds that can never fully heal. My children and I are trying to build a new life, a new family based on mutual love and trust. Sophia and Liam are now strong, intelligent, and understanding children. They've matured so much through the upheavals, and together we've overcome the toughest phases. They still often say, "I love you, Dad," and that's all I need. I believe that time will heal all wounds and bring peace to our souls. I found happiness in simplicity, in the laughter of my children, and in the peace of the home I built with genuine love. My story ends here. I hope it has given you all some insights into marriage and family, into forgiveness, and into facing the truth no matter how painful that truth may be. Don't let indulgence turn you into a victim in your own life story. If you felt a connection or have different thoughts about my story, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Let's share our life stories, the lessons we've learned to grow stronger together. And if you found this story meaningful, please like this video to support me and share it with anyone who needs to hear this message about cherishing family and fidelity. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my latest videos full of emotional life stories and profound lessons. Thank you all for listening. I wish you all happiness and peace. Goodbye for now.